Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to give you an update on the progress of my F-16 simulator cockpit build that I am making. For those of you who are joining just now, welcome to the channel. In this video series I will be documenting the build of my F-16 simulator cockpit that I will be using to play with the DCS and also in the future with the Falcon BMS. So the way I'm doing this, I've built this whole structure out of plywood. I've used some cockpit plans that I've purchased online. These are made from Invictus Cockpit. I cut out all the pieces of wood and put it together, built the whole structure and then painted the whole structure. The panels that you can see, the avionics and the instrument panels, these I've made it myself out of my own design. These are made out of sheets of transparent acrylic, which I then laser cut, paint and engrave to make it look like the actual avionic panel that you see in the real jet. The way that this is then connected to the computer, I will be using Arduinos to then talk to DCS BIOS, which is a program that interfaces the actual toggle switches and rotary knobs and all of this with the actual game. I've already done a few of these panels, namely the caution panel and some of the others, but I'll talk about it in just a little bit. For now, since the last update, this has been quite a big change. As you can see, the whole structure is now painted. So I want to talk a little bit about the paint job that I've done. I've basically primed the whole structure. In the last video, you would have seen that it was just bare wood, and also the external skins here were missing. So what I did, I installed the outer skins. I've used a piece of scrap here. This is just a piece of 3mm MDF panels that I use to cover up all the sides. I'll put some picture on the screen on the progress that I've made while I was building and painting, so you get an idea. But basically this thing is quite flexible, and I managed to install it and make all of this bends. If I were to do it again, I'll probably use something even more flexible, because in some spots you can see that it's a little bit wavy, but I'm quite happy with it, so I'll just leave it as is. So build this, then I primed the whole structure. I used some spray gun to cover the whole structure using a wood primer. It was a 2-component primer in white. I then sanded it all smooth and then started to go over with a color coat. So for the interior, I've used the cockpit gray interior. I will put in the description all the codes of the paint that I used if you are curious to know what they are. But I basically tried to use the most realistic colors to make it look like the real jet. So the interior, again, this was just a cockpit gray interior. Again, sprayed it with the spray gun, and then for the exterior, I've decided to make it the Have glass color. That it's a color that you see on the more modern Vipers, just because I think it looks cool and I really like it. And yeah, so I think it turned out pretty nicely. I'm fairly happy with the paint job, and then for the rest of the colors that you see, the interior yellow primer, this I used just a regular paint roller. It was just much easier to do because of the all weird angles and spots that I couldn't reach with a spray gun without making a mess. So I just use a regular roller. You won't be seeing this anyway, because once the cockpit is going to be done, this will be all covered out by the avionics panel and also the cockpit walls. But I felt like doing it anyway, just because I think it looks cool. And yes, and then I use also just a regular paint roller here over the canopy rails and also this bit here, which also is going to be covered up by the glare shield. So again, you won't be seeing this, but again, I felt like doing it anyway. So, oh yeah, this piece is still missing some paint. I ran out of gray paint, so I'm just need to buy some more, and then I'll cover this up. And so that's pretty much it about the paint job. So after this, I bolted the whole structure together. This is designed to come apart in 3 sections, so the center tub and the 2 side consoles. So this is all bolted together using some 6mm bolts. Not sure if you are able to see them. See one there. I've basically used a lot of these bolts throughout the whole structure, so it's nice and sturdy and it's not gonna come apart. And and then I've installed some caster wheels here, which is making moving around this thing a little bit easier. These they all have a brake, so when the brake is engaged, this thing doesn't go flying anywhere. So yeah, after I bolted the structure in, I started to install some of the avionics and panels for good. You would have seen this 3D printed parts, I think, in the last video. These they actually came with the cockpit plans. I haven't painted them yet, so they just need a primer and then paint. Also the compass holder and this little bit there, and put in the MFDs. So these are just some regular MFDs that I bought from Trustmaster. What I did, I've installed at the back some monitors. These are from Sim. I bought them a while ago. I've been using them playing DCS for a good while now, and they work just fine. So they went into the cockpit, and made a little modification to the Trustmaster MFDs. This thing, they come with like a stand that you can use to have them on your desk while you're playing the computer, but that thing kind of bolts at the back of the actual MFD frame, so the whole MFD actually sticks out a little more than it should. And so I just wanted to make it a little bit more flush with the panel, so I removed that. However, that thing actually holds the PCBs of all of these buttons. So I've installed some washers and some screws to hold the PCB in, and then bolted this thing to the screen, so it kind of sits a little bit more flush, and I like it a little better. This is the RWR that I've made. I've got a video on this thing if you want to check it out. It's just a time lapse of the build, but it's basically 3D printed housing with a round screen. I forgot the dimension, but I'll put it in the description. And this thing has its own board that has an HDMI output that goes to the computer, and Windows sees this as another screen, so I can just export the RWR info from DCS and it will be shown here. And yeah, over here the first few consoles, the first few avionics panels are in. I've actually 3D printed these knobs using transparent resin, and so these things can be backlit. And then I've painted it and painted the white stripe and the black outline and the whole thing. So basically the light only shines through that the little white stripe there. These are just temporary because I don't think that they are the accurate ones that you find in the real jet. So I've printed some more over here. I think these look a little bit more realistic, so I've designed this myself as well, so I might change them also in the future, but you can see that the back these is just transparent, so when the light shines through, it just illuminates this white strip there. And I can demonstrate this over here because this panel is already hooked up. And now the backlight works. I've just connected these two ones, that's why the other ones they don't lit up, but basically that's the effect. I'm pretty happy with the results. So this is another updated that I did. This was done very recently, and actually I want to show you the way that I did this. There are a few dimmers under this panel that I used to make this thing work, and just give me a second. I'll pull this panel out and then I'll show you. Okay, so this is the lighting panel disassembled from the cockpit, and as you can see over here, I've made multiple layers of just acrylic sheet that I use to mount the PCBs of the dimmers. I've got 4 dimmers here connected to the potentiometers that they are in turn connected to the knobs here. So then I can just route the cabling based on which knob does what, and I can control the backlight with that. Again, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. It took a while to figure out all the wiring, but it's done. I'm happy. So this is gonna go back in. Just give me a sec. Right, so what I'm working on now is a system to simplify a lot of the wiring that is gonna go underneath all of this. So what I'm planning to do is using these things. So these are D sub or DB connectors, whatever you want to call them. They come in different sizes, and I'm planning to connect the knobs and switches to one of these at the back of each panel, and then use a cable to carry the signal over to a box which will live somewhere around here, which will house all the Arduinos and USB hubs and what have you, that then will have one single cable out to the computer. So that's the plan anyway, and this is what I'm working on at the moment. You would have seen here that these panels, as I mentioned earlier, these are made out of acrylic. So this is what it looks like when it's just raw. And again, I cut all of this with a laser and then paint, engraved, and that's how they turn out. I've got a video on how I'm doing this. If you're curious to see it, I will link it just up here on the screen. So you're welcome to check it out if you're curious. And this is how they turn out. The back plate, originally I had planned to use also a black acrylic sheet to make the back plate. However, I'm happy to say that PCBWay was kind enough to provide all of these back plates, which are now made out of aluminum, which is super nice, realistic, well, more realistic to what you see in the real jets. And these have been anodized in black. They're super durable, and I'm really happy, with this. So I will be using the same concept, the same build process throughout the rest of the cockpit. I'll use aluminum backplates, again kindly provided by PCBWay, and then the rest of this will be cut out of acrylic. If you're looking for a similar solution, PCBWay is an online manufacturing service that you can use to build basically whatever you want. They of course do PCB prototyping, but they also do 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, injection molding, CNC work, a bunch of other things. I'm going to be linking their website in the description. Go check them out. Their price is very reasonable, and I've used their service in the past. I'm very happy, so I recommend them. So back to the video. What else I've been working on here? Oh yes, as you can see, the seat is still missing. So the reason why I haven't built it just yet is because I'm waiting for the plans to come out. They should come out fairly soon. The same Invictus type of plans that are made for the tub, they are also working on a version of the ejection seat. So I cannot wait for those to be released. I'll definitely be picking those up whenever they're released, and I'll be building the seat using the same technique. So again, cut out of wood, put together, painted, and the whole thing. Oh, another thing that I've done, I've put all of these markings here on the side. I think it just looks very cool. So the way I did this, just use some stencils. These are also made from Invictus. Bought them a few weeks ago, and put it on the paint, and then I use my airbrush to actually airbrush the lighter gray, so you can basically see the markings, and I think they look very cool. They kind of enhance the realism a little bit. I'll show you also the other side. I think it just looks cool. So this is basically where I'm at. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and thank you also very much for all of you who have subscribed. We just reached 900 subscribers, so thank you very much for all of your nice support. So stay tuned for more updates, and of course, if you got any questions or comment, feel free to leave those below in the comment section. I'll be very happy to come back to you. But yeah, so I'll keep on working on this, and I'll carry on building the rest of the avionics panel that they're missing. I've already have the design figured it out, so just need to get around and cut and build the whole thing. So yeah, once again, thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.